I am Sean Webb, and this is Your Superior Self.
Hi, this is Zach Poitras, and this is Your Superior Self.
I'm Andy Mant, and this is Your Superior Self.
Hi, this is Sue Jackson, and this is Your Superior Self.
I'm Ginny Sarasvati, and this is Your Superior Self.
What's up, everybody? I'm Aubrey Marcus, and this is Your Superior Self.
What is up, Superior Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Your Superior Self. I'm Trey Downs. And man, I enjoyed every second of my conversation with April Doyle, today's guest. I think she is everything. She's an actress, model, singer, songwriter, performer. And I don't know. I think we talked about music for maybe like 5 minutes at tops. I mean, we talked about everything else. Now, keep in mind, we recorded this in April when COVID-19 was, the first wave was hitting the United States and everything was pretty much shut down. But I mean, we connected on a intense level. Like, we just had a great conversation. It was fun. We talked about dogs. We talked about my dog Gracie and how she's very odd, but she's a good dog. She's a good dog. But we talked about Gracie. We talked about April and her business and what she does, and how she runs a successful show band called Haute Chile Productions. And we talked about life, and we talked about kids, and I mean, this is everything that I want in a podcast, and I really hope that you guys enjoy it. April, she's an amazing person, very caring, very honest, very forthcoming on her philosophies in life, and that's why I love doing these episodes and meeting people like April, where I can just totally just connect and just have a great conversation. And I know you guys will enjoy this. I know you guys will. Just to give you a little sense of her personality and why I love her so much, here is a clip of April Doyle.
It seems like the human animal doesn't really understand anything until it gets slapped in the face for some reason. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. We could sit down, there's all these geniuses that sit down to talk about, how to take care of the world, but they usually end up talking about money and marketing and, and none of money's not going to matter if the earth is falling apart and breaking down and global disaster is happening. None of that money is going to mean anything.
Oh, how true that statement is. I don't know about you guys, but if anything, this entire experience of 2020 has done nothing but help me become more aware, more attuned to my spirituality, my belief system, and basically see the truth for what it is, as far as what we are as a human race and what motivates us and what we really are as a bunch of egos that try to get over on each other. And I've become more aware of our potential, our inner power, and I am 100% focused on the future of the podcast and the future of my family's well-being, and totally just going along for the ride, and just enjoying every second of it, and just taking the time to be in the moment, because that is God's gift, is the moment. It is eternity is in the moment, in the now, and it is the ego that steals that from us, that makes us think about the future and the past and how we're not good enough and what we should be doing and what we're missing out on and what we think is the right way and what we think is the wrong way, and never really just being the path, and not really just being creative, and realizing that when you truly are on your way, when you're truly doing something that you're supposed to be doing, the path will disappear, because that is when you're doing something so intense, so different, that there hasn't been anyone before you. And that you must continue forward. You must continue to do what you're doing and pursue that. pursue it with the most powerful force that you can produce. And that's what I've been doing. That's what I'm up to. I don't know where that came from. I just had to get that out there. But I'm excited about my conversation with April Doyle. Doyle rules. And I'm excited for you guys to listen. So if you want to find out more about the podcast, you can head over to yoursuperiorself.com. You can check me out on social media, Instagram at tdowns80 and on Twitter at downstray. Leave me a message at yoursuperiorself.com. There's a section where you can go up and leave me a message. It goes directly to my inbox, and I reply to a lot of them, a lot of the emails that I get, and try to give out some positivity and some advice. Maybe not so much advice, but definitely some positivity, some just reinforcement of you guys going out and just crushing it and just becoming more aware of what you guys truly are. But time will show that to you. I can't tell you that, but time will show it to you, and you will become more aware as we go forward, move forward in this world. And I'm excited about this conversation. Yeah, this is fantastic. So without further ado, here is my conversation with the April Doyle.
Hi, I'm April Doyle, and this is Your Superior Self.
April, thank you so much for joining. I'm so excited to talk to you.
Me too. Thank you for having me.
So we were just talking about dogs, your dogs,
Yes.
and you were bringing up the subject of, I think you said you had a pit bull.
A large blue-nosed pit bull. He is amazing.
How long have you had him?
He's 10. And
10?
He's 10, and he's doing well. He had both knees. He was a rescue. So they took this mother pit bull off the street. 9 puppies later, I took one that I thought was going to be smaller, and 90 pounds later, he's a big
dog.
dude. He's a big dude, and he's a big couch potato. It's not a typical terrier, but he's so sweet and smart. But he goes to physical therapy every week for his knees, because he had both knees redone, and he gets his little laser deal. And you can tell I'm a little spun on the whole dog deal. But and then I've got I've got a French bulldog and a miniature bull terrier who's unbelievable. And they keep me very entertained in a very difficult time.
Yeah, it is difficult times. Have you watched any of those since we've had some extra time here recently? Have you gone on like Netflix at all and watched any of those dog movies, like where they come back? And I think the last one I watched was with like Dennis. Is it Dennis or Randy Quaid?
Dennis Quaid. Yeah.
And the dog comes back each time as a different dog. And my wife made me, well, I'm not going to lie. I kind of wanted to watch it, but you talk about a tearjerker, man. Like, seriously.
I can't. I saw part of that. As we have one of those TVs that's got every channel on it. And I've seen it, part of it a couple of times. I get too engaged in the dog animal movies, and I take it to heart, and I get really upset. So I usually don't watch the dog movies because I don't know. I just get it hits too close to home or something.
Yeah. Well, this one especially, because like this dog kept coming back as the same dog, but in different bodies, like reincarnation. And and then you see the guy, there's like 2 movies. There's one where he had it as a kid and it saved him somehow emotionally. And then the second one is with his granddaughter. And it's just like the storyline.
It's a cool premise.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm sitting there crying my eyes out, and I'm not a big dog guy. We have a golden retriever, and I mess around with her and just say things to her. We got her from the Amish, and
wow,
she's definitely an Amish dog. Like, I remember the last thing.
What, is she wearing a hat or something?
No, she's just rackety. You know what I mean? She's like pumped right out of a puppy mill. Like, it just I feel like she's a rescue because we saved her from that environment. But she's definitely her head's really small, her body's really big, and I joke about it, just saying she's Amish, just because but she's a really smart dog. But the last thing the guy said to me when we were leaving, we're leaving, and the house is
Mm-hmm.
just full of like 20 kids, and they just came out of school and had like the old fashioned schoolhouse, no electric. And it's like, oh my goodness, like, where are we? My daughter's like freaking out.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, this is a really good guard dog. Like, you're going to be really happy with how she performs or how she acts when around people and strangers or something. I don't know, something like that. I'm like, yeah,
And
okay,
that's
let's
the
just get it.
furthest thing from the truth, right?
No, it's the complete truth. Like,
Oh,
she
really?
barks at everything. I mean, her
Huh.
shadow, like, she's very protective of us. I feel like, so whenever somebody comes up, I mean, she is a beeline straight to the door, peas everywhere.
Wow. Uh-oh.
And then, it's just so funny because my buddy Bobby, every time he comes over, he used to do some of the podcast episodes with us, and he would come over and she would spray him, with the butt spray or whatever it is, and like stink up the front of the house. And like, I had to like, I would have to time it every time he came to the house to let her out. So that way he sprayed her, like she sprayed him outside the house, like, it's just crazy.
What is she, part skunk?
I don't know. I don't know if this is normal. Like, she's Amish. Like, I don't know.
Blame it on the Amish. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
Like,
that's so funny.
they had this sweet website. I don't know I don't know who put it up for them. But it was just this cute, they have pictures and everything. And it's like, they're so cute, and you go there and they're so cute and they get you. And then it's like, there's, their brothers, their fathers, their sisters, they're all related somehow, Amish. And
that is hilarious.
it's crazy. Like, I mean, we got a deal. I mean, you definitely get what you pay for, but I mean, she's a great dog. Don't get me wrong. I complain a lot and I bitch and moan about it, and, having to go outside and pick up after her. But at the end of the day, the kids love her, and she sheds everywhere and she ruins my hardwoods. But you know what? At the end of the day, she, there's people that will come up to the front door. She's going to make us aware, and, the kids love her.
I saw a little video today that I should send you. It was killing me. I laughed for 5 minutes straight. It's this video of this guy, and he sits down, and he's got all you see is this guy sitting there with an acoustic guitar, and he starts playing the song, and he's sitting next to a golden, and the golden starts tapping his foot on this bass pedal, and it hits the back of the couch, so it sounds like a little drum, and the dog keeps time while the guy's playing guitar.
They're
hilarious.
Smart, man. I tell you, golden retrievers are super smart. Even mine, like, even though she's, she's definitely deficient in some areas, she is super smart. Like, she stays. I feel like she has a personality. Like, I really do. Like, my dad's dog is, I don't know where he got him from, but he's like, I can just tell a difference. Like, I don't know if it's female dog, so she's a female, he's a male. I don't know if there's a difference, but I feel like I can see a person in there. Like, I feel like she has her own little personality.
You're right on. They have very specific personalities. I've had a lot of dogs, and it's a trip. They are just as different as people are.
Mm-hmm.
They have likes, dislikes, idiosyncrasies, little odd things, little sweet things, my last pit bull, it was a pit bull Australian Shepherd mix. If I got upset, not crying, like not visibly upset, but just worried or upset about something, this dog would walk up to me and put his paw on my shoulder and look me in the eye. And I was, the first time he did it, I was like, okay, maybe I'm making this up or something. Sure enough, next time I got upset, he would come and try to check on me, like try to like I'm worried about you kind of thing. It was a trip.
They are a trip. I mean, I don't like going out and picking up poop, but I like, I like the idea of a dog around.
I can't be without him. Every time I lose one, I say, I don't want to do this again. In the same breath, I'm like, this world is so difficult and so crazy, and the joy and the laughter and just all they want is to be with you, a little pat on the head and some food, and they just adore you.
Yeah. It's funny. There's this meme that I sent my wife, and she died laughing because it was like a dog. And all you have to do is get up. So there's a picture of a guy sitting on a couch, and there's a dog laying next to him. And then the guy gets up to go, just gets up and stands up, and the dog's like, "You son of a bitch, I'm in." Like, he's just like, "I don't care what you're doing right now, I'm in." Follows you around wherever you go. Like, he's so excited. She's so excited wherever I go. It's great.
The dog videos I'm on a lot of, I will admit to you that I'm on a lot of bull terrier, like I adore bull terrier pages. Mm-hmm. And these people put these videos on there, and they're so hilarious of the interactions with the dogs, just the funny stuff that the dogs do. And it's just so simple, but it kills you. It's so great.
Yeah. I mean, they know when they're doing something bad too. Like,
Oh yeah.
there's been pictures of like dogs going out and digging holes, and then like you catch them and they duck down in the hole, like you can't see them. It's like they're kids.
And look
They're
totally
small kids.
guilty. They look totally guilty. Yeah, it's hilarious.
My dog just Gracie, she just had a bone. My 1-year-old daughter just found one of her bones, not like a bone, but like a plastic chew toy, and was carrying it. And Gracie hasn't seen this toy in at least a year. Like, I mean, she hasn't even acted like she cares about it. But as soon as my little daughter picks it up, she's like, give me that bone. I'm going to, I want it now. So she's like a little kid in herself. Like, she's like, don't touch my things. What I want to play with it right now. Like, it's
how many kids do you have?
I have 3 kids.
Wow.
Yeah. I have a 10-year-old. Well, he'll be 10 this month. Cam. I have a 7-year-old Ava. And then the baby Kara just turned 1.
Great names.
Yeah.
And you got a house full there, man.
A little farm.
Totally.
I'm Amish now. See what happens. You go get an Amish dog, and now you turn into one of them.
You caught it. Yeah.
April, thank you for coming on. This has been great so far. Why don't you give us a little background? What do you got going on?
I have run one of the top corporate show bands in the U.S. called Haute Chile for longer than I care to mention. And we've been kind of the top of the food chain doing like, corporate events, pretty much 99% private events. Corporate, some celebrities. So we're not a wedding band by any means. It's comprised of all industry guys. So they all love to play together. So it creates like, even though we're playing cover tune, like we customize the event for the clients. We do everything from like sophisticated dinner or cocktail, and then we end up doing like a costume change, and then we can do like a concert type performance if necessary, which we end up doing a lot in Vegas when we do shows in Vegas. But that's been like kind of like the day job music, and as I call it. And
how did you get into that though? Like, you were a model, makeup artist. Now you own your own production company. Like, how did it all start?
Well, I was in a very popular corporate band. It was a 60s act, like a 60s music. So we would wear like 60s outfits and the bouffant hair and all the cool, a look. And, it started to, the call for that kind of music started to wane. And I was like, and they weren't changing anything. And I'm kind of like, I can market anything. I'm really good at marketing. I'm like, you guys, we need to disappear, come back with some new music, new costumes. Everyone's like, shut up, And so nobody wanted to do it. So I left the band, and I kind of had my own smarts about how to do the corporate thing. And, and the economy was changing at the time. So as it does periodically. And in regards to what I do, providing entertainment, usually companies want it because it's kind of like a pat on the back for like, they'll take like Mercedes will take their top sellers to Kauai for like a thank you. And then we'll be like the last evening party band, the band, for their party, and that kind of thing. So, the economy goes up and down, and it was bad for the last year and a half. And it was just, the phone was ringing again. Everything was great in the beginning of this year. And then we were hit with this unbelievable oddity of virus.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Yeah,
we talked about it earlier. Like, we don't even know really truly the numbers. I mean,
we don't, and that's what's really scary.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane. I mean, obviously, we probably weren't getting the true numbers over from China's side anyway, and then we kind of saw Italy and what they're doing, and how they're being affected. Yeah, and then it comes over.
Yeah, and you know what that's from? You know what I found out? What that's from in Italy?
What?
They have this big, huge Chinese community there because of the fashion industry and all the clothes that are made. They have a lot of Chinese people there that are helping to produce the clothing for the fashion shows and the designers.
So you think that they kind of traveled over there and gave it?
Yeah. Yeah. That's what they say. They say that this Chinese community, it was brought, people were visiting at home or whatever, would go back to work in Italy, and it got transferred over there. That's why it kind of went, I was like, why Italy? I didn't understand.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody told me that, and it makes sense because of the, fashion industry is so huge over there.
Sure. I mean, it's insane. Like I was listening to Rogan today, or was it yesterday? And he had some doctor on, and they were kind of talking about, the pneumonia part, where a lot of people need ventilators, and it's just like I was talking with my wife. My wife's an RN. She works in labor and delivery, and
Oh wow.
she's been working overtime, and we've just been kind of, obviously we've been stuck to the news and a lot of the statistics, and she sees it firsthand at work. And she's basically said, like, to me, yesterday was our first patient that she had to, see with the virus. And she's like, yeah, everything they're saying is completely true. Like, this is worse than what you could imagine, as far as seeing someone who's pregnant and having to go through this. Like, it's like slowly like drowning and not having anything that you can do about it. Right. Like,
How is she dealing with this? And when you guys have children?
Well, she works, and then I'm fortunate enough where I can kind of, stay home with the kids and just keep them separate. Right. I mean, she comes home and she takes all of her stuff off. She sprays down out in the garage, and then she goes straight up and goes to the shower. And then she works nights, so she hardly sees the kids when she's working. And then when she gets home for like today, she'll just do her best to wash and clean up before she even comes back down. And then we just make sure we clean ourselves and wash our hands, and we're just trying to be very cautious to that, or conscious to that. And
wow. Yeah.
I mean,
wow.
We're all going to eventually catch it. It's just how far out we try to spread it out, right? Like, we don't want everyone to catch it at the same time, because obviously it will crash our healthcare system. But that's
well,
why
the hospitals, they're already talking to hotels. They're going to have to turn a lot of hotels into like temporary hospital because of the rooms, because they're afraid that if people don't follow the stay home deal, that it's going to spread so bad, and there won't be enough. There's already not enough ventilators, not enough masks, not enough gloves, etc. So they're trying to keep it down so that the hospitals won't be just completely overloaded and not be able to get the care they need.
Yep.
This is crazy. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
And it's I've only had one event cancel. The rest are pretty hopeful. I actually have dealt with 2 clients today, one wants to book something in August, one wants to book something in December. Now, and I don't know how realistic, no one's going to know how realistic that is until we get closer to those times, Yeah. And I'm hoping that people will just, I'm keeping my promotions going, etc., because I want to stay viable so that when things get a little bit more sure-footed, the companies are going to be really on to wanting to make their employees feel appreciated and okay. And I think I'm going to have a lot of work on the other side of, when we finally get the green light that it's okay to go out into the world and do what you do again. So
how's it affected it so far?
Well, that's what I was just telling you. I mean, most people are just changing the dates of their events that I have in the calendar. They're putting them more into, some people are moving them into December. I still have somebody asking me about Hawaii in June. So, I mean, I hope that happens. But, and then my personal project, April in the Velvet Room, is it started out as me just recording some of my favorite old classics that my mother used to play for me when I was growing up, and I just adored these songs, started recording them, and then all of a sudden I was pulling some of my songs out that I had written and collaborating with Kevin Flournoy, who is the Pointer Sisters, and Jeffrey Osborne, and a lot of R&B acts that were still traveling around and doing festivals and concerts and stuff, and so it just turned into this full a different project than I had imagined. We recorded an entire album. We were just able to do our first show on March 8th. We were up at Herb Alpert's club in Bel Air called Vibrato.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a sold out house, and it was like everybody loved it. And then like almost like the next day or two, everybody was like talking about the virus and what it's going to mean. And it, you know, everybody was kind of listening, but it wasn't near as serious then. But I just got this gig in, you know, and it was, everybody loved it. And we're still doing promotions. I'm going to drop my other single coming. That's one thing is how important music is. There's so much to talk about here, but music is a major deal. And in times like this, with people sitting home on their phones, on their computers, on their televisions, listening to, watching shows, movies, music, probably more than they have ever. I mean, music has taken on a different, you know, value. It seems like a lot of artists are, you know, doing little personal concerts. John Legend, I don't know if you saw that Michael McDonald video where he just sits down at the piano and plays and just kills everybody.
Yeah.
And so we're doing we're going to do a Heal the World, Michael Jackson's song. One of the guys in my corporate band, JP Castillo, is the call. He does a lot of shows with the Jacksons, and he does all the Michael's parts. You know, he dances like him, he
Really?
sings like him. Yeah, he's unbelievable.
That's
and
awesome.
he's got his project too. He's, you know, he's in my corporate deal, but he's also an artist that's getting ready to blow up. Hopefully, you know, who knows with what the world's doing right now, but down the line, hopefully, because he's beyond talented. He just finished a couple months ago the tour with J-Lo, and he was signed on the tour as the percussionist. And they were at a rehearsal sound check, and she heard him sing, and she had him open up for her the last 12 shows of the concert. And that, talk about a pat on the back, you know.
Yeah, that's like, man, that's overnight, right? I mean, that's
It
basically
is.
Here you go, buddy.
Yeah.
Step up.
Oh yeah, she had no idea what kind of vocalist he was, and we've got this beautiful video of him on this stage with cajillion people out there and
stories
everything.
like that. I love stories
beautiful.
like that.
It's
It is
beautiful.
beautiful.
You should look at it. It's Castillo, first name JP,
JP
and you can see,
Castillo.
yeah, you can, and you can see his. He's got a lot of really cool videos on his Facebook page, and so we, you know, he performed at my April in the Velvet Room show on the 8th. That's the one. The Velvet Room is about any shows that I do. I bring other major like talent. I don't want the focus to just be on me, because I'm using all these major industry players, and I want them to all like take the spotlight at different times of the show. And in the middle of our show, we had James T come out, who is he's on Dancing with the Stars, and he was on the whole last season of The Masked Singer as one of the choreographers, and he brought To Die for a Beautiful Girl in. So in the middle of my show, we had dancers come out and do some featured numbers, and then I had these other people sing lead, and I've got an amazing girl that is a lead singer and violinist. And so I try to bring a lot of interesting aspects to my show, my project.
That's
and
awesome.
yeah, it's a cool thing. It's it's a different aspect. It's completely different from my corporate thing that I do. It's just like another aspect of music, you know.
Yeah,
So it's,
well, you're being more creative in that, right?
yeah, oh yeah.
The
You know,
creativity just flowing.
yeah, the corporate thing, you just ask a million questions, and I find, you know, people like how versatile we are in the corporate aspect. You know, we find out their age, what their favorite music style is, and what the, you know, how they want their evening to go, and we tailor the shows. So people really like it because the band is so talented. We can do a lot of different styles and tailor the show. But then in my personal project, you know, I'm getting to do the stuff that I love and the vibes. And I sing a couple of, you know, I still do a couple of covers. I do a Eric Benet tune, and I do a Erykah Badu song. My thing, which is kind of the neo soul mixed with like R&B and jazz, and That's my personal thing, like sophisticated neo soul kind of deal.
Awesome.
Hard
That's
to,
awesome.
yeah.
Did you grow up like wanting to be a singer?
No, I thought I was just going to be doing acting. And I was doing, in high school, I was doing a lot of shows, and going into college, I was doing shows. And then I just got asked by somebody, do you sing? And I'm like, yeah, I sing. They're like, oh, we're getting together with some friends tonight. And we got together with this group, and that was the first corporate group, and just kind of took off. It was kind of odd how it took off. And I did that for a while, and then just kind of moved on into other projects, and ended up doing my own corporate thing, for quite a while. And then finally getting to my, expressing myself in my own project.
That just sounds like an amazing adventure, like just going from one thing to the next. Isn't it crazy though, like how the universe works? Like I've been talking about this recently and just trying to show some gratitude towards the universe as far as like, you know what, you're going to take care of me. Like even this shit that's going on right now, like
Yep.
even how crazy it is, like it's work. Like you have to have this thought that everything is happening for you, no matter what. Like, you take one action and the action creates another reaction, right? And things just kind of line up where you can't really see, Steve Jobs said you can't really connect the dots until you look back in the past, right? Like you can't connect the dots in the future, where you just got to trust that everything's going to connect. And for the most part, I feel like it does. Like, I just feel like if I look in the past right now, all the hardships, all the losses, all the gains, all the successes, everything, like I'm even grateful for even the hard stuff, like just because it's made me who I am today. Like, and if I was in the moment back then, I wouldn't have said that. Like I wouldn't have said, oh, I'm grateful for this event, or I'm grateful for this. Like I was in pain, I was in suffering, but you gotta feel that. You gotta feel it and work through it, and just it makes you so much stronger. It's like, you can't control what environment or what happens to you. You can't control, the worst case scenario. You can't control how you got there. What you can control is how you're going to handle it.
You almost can't really control anything. I mean, we think
No.
we can, but I mean, look at what's happening right now. None of us would have ever thought of this happening, and it has stopped everyone's lives.
Mm-hmm.
It's I fully agree with what you say, and I think that there is a connection. I don't know what you believe in spiritually, but if there's a reason for everything, like you were saying, when you're in the moment when it's happening, sometimes you don't want it and you think it's a bad thing. But there's some proverb that I'm not remembering clearly, but it says something like that, to the effect of, if a tragedy lived with for some time becomes a gift. It was something to that effect, like to get on the other side of the tragedy, to where you can see maybe why it happened or how it changed your life, like in a positive way, like there was some underlying reason that it happened,
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I think, the best thing you can, remind yourself is that the storm never lasts forever. Like it just doesn't. And no matter what happens to you, the storm will stop at some point, and the sun will come out and things will carry on. This is the world. Like the world is, everyone like they don't understand, like this is the world that we live in. This has been happening for millions of years. Things like this happening. This is how we evolved to who we are today. Our ancestors had the Black Plague. I mean, things happen. The universe, it's Earth. It's Earth doing what it does. And
well, you know what? There's cause and effect, and I hate to say this, but we've been messing with Mother Earth for a long time.
Yeah.
With all kinds of chemicals and all kinds of things that aren't natural, and you can only any organism can only take so much, and at some point it's going to rebel. Something's going to collapse. Something's going to break or need. I've got bulldog issues going on here. Sorry.
No, you're good. I'm sure Gracie will come running in here quickly.
Yeah.
She hears it.
I hope she doesn't spray you.
He might. That Amish dog.
Skunk dog.
Skunk dog. That's what we should have named her. Well, we call her Disgrace sometimes because her name's Grace. We call her Disgrace.
Poor honey.
But she's good. She's a good dog. Little skunk. But what were we talking about?
talking about the world and how it's
Yeah, the
affecting
world. Yeah, well,
business.
there's
And
always two sides of things, right? Like there's good
yep,
and bad. There's
yep.
always an equilibrium somewhere where
Hmm.
how dumb are we? How small are we to think that we can control this world? Like to think that, you don't think this world's going to fight back for its existence? Like, you have these rallies, these world climate rallies where they're like, if the degrees go up one more degree, whatever it is, then we're going to have mass chaos. So, you don't think the earth, the universe, mother earth is going to take care of itself? Like, no, we're just
Yeah,
so small.
and have you heard, like, there's some people commenting right now about how much better the air quality is
Yeah.
because people are not driving as much?
Yeah.
So like Mexico City, which has some of the worst air on the planet, they're talking about how much better it's been down there. And LA, people are talking about how much better it is in LA. You can't cut down all the rainforests, have this many cars going on to break the ozone down. All the stuff, and then there, I don't know, the global warming and all that. That's a whole other discussion. But it's it seems like the human animal doesn't really understand anything until it gets slapped in the face for some reason. I don't know why. We could sit down, there's all these geniuses that sit down to talk about, how to take care of the world, but they usually end up talking about money and marketing and, and none of money's not going to matter if the earth is falling apart and breaking down and global disaster is happening. None of that money is going to mean anything.
Nope, it's not. I mean, because you're not going to be, what are you going to spend it on? Nothing. There's going to be,
Exactly.
the waters will rise. There'll be more refugees, like Delaware, where I'm from, will be underwater. Maryland will be underwater. Like everyone, they talk about these doomsday figures and projections. It's like, what do you think money's going to buy? Nothing's going to,
Yeah,
nothing.
you're not going to care about the price of oil if we got Armageddon going on again,
No, not at all. I mean, this is why we need to take the time right now and like recenter ourselves and reconnect with our true beings, right? Like remember who we
Agreed.
truly are and how powerful
Agreed.
we truly are. And then we don't need these external things. Like we don't need all the fancy cars. Like we need to start investing in technology as far as that's going to help us save the earth and save our race, like Tesla. Like I'm a big Tesla fan. I don't really like the truck, but I mean the cars, but I mean I really like the idea behind that. I really love the idea that we're getting away from fossil fuels and we're trying to do the right thing. And that's why I really like Tesla and then like SpaceX, like going to Mars. Like I love that idea. I love the idea.
I
of
like
trying
it
to make
too, but I
things better.
still want a Bentayga.
Well, even like Uber Air is doing some great things. Like they're trying to make ride sharing apps. Uber Air is the new ride sharing app where they're going to have like these electric drones, gigantic electrical drones where they're going to fly from station to station and try to, eliminate some of the traffic.
I'm telling you, it's going to be the Jetsons, man. It's going to be the Jetsons before we
I'm
die.
pretty excited about that though. Like I think that'd be awesome, right? Like I mean, having like a drone fly over, they're doing it now with UPS. They're dropping packages in. Pizza Hut has like little drones. They're testing the model out in like Texas where they're having these little vehicles with pizzas in them, and like they're driving around the neighborhoods and delivering the pizzas inside this oven that's an electric vehicle, and it's like that's cool. Like I don't want to be plugged into the matrix, but I would love to have a little droid drive up to my driveway and drop off a pizza.
Pizza. I think, you know what? If it's delivering a pizza, it's no matter what it is, people are going to go, okay. You're talking about pizza.
I mean, you're still talking about jobs, losing jobs. The delivery guys, he's out, right? Because, he's not going to have a job anymore. But I mean, I don't know. I just feel like this time right now, we need to reconnect. We need to read more books about meditation.
Yes. I've been reading a book. I am halfway through a book. I've been wanting to read. I've been really wanting to read.
What book is it?
And the scent. Oh my God! What is the last word? It's a really interesting book, and it just blew out of my brain.
I got a book for you.
I think it's this. Oh my God, I'm so lame.
Well, who's the author? You got to know that.
Well, the other book that I'm in love with, I was just going to say Charles McKinney, but that's another book I just got. It's an artist, and it's called the. I'm going to tell you right now.
Go ahead, Google it.
I'm determined. No, I'm going to the car.
Oh, you gotta go get it.
Okay, it is called The Scent Keeper by
Keeper.
Erica Bauermeister. Really
Scent
beautifully written.
Keeper. What? And so, what is its premise?
This girl and her father, she's raised on an island, and they live in a little hut together, and they live off the land, and they go out and get their food.
What is it
Yeah,
called?
I don't know if it's that. Well, the other one is the. Oh, I'm gonna tell you the other one. But this, I don't know. Do you like art? Oh, The Scent Keeper.
The Scent Keeper.
Scent is SCENT. And then there's this other beautiful book about it. It's really simple. Actually, you will like this because the stuff we've been talking about life. It's really simple, and I didn't know this was a #1 bestseller. And he is an artist that did a book. Of course, now let me see if I can find it. The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse by Charlie Mackesy, Mackesy. And he just says these little beautiful things about this boy is talking with these animals.
Mm-hmm.
And just these really simple things like, the most important thing is to be kind to each other. And but the art in it is just, this guy's unbelievable, his art. And that it's just like you can thumb through that book in like 20 minutes. But back to the point, it's like I've been going, man, I don't know why I couldn't slow down enough to pick up a book. Like now I'm reading again, and I've been really wanting to read. I've got an amazing library on my office. I have these beautiful bookshelves with hundreds of books. I've read a good amount of them, but I used to read a lot some years ago.
Who's your favorite author?
Probably J.D. Salinger.
Yeah. Why is that?
Because I would read stuff in his books that shocked me, that made me think and go. I would just get like, when somebody impresses me like that, makes me think of things sideways in a way that I never thought of it before. It really impresses me. Like I love when somebody just flips something and makes me
blows your mind up.
Exactly. Just kind of like, it's like a light goes off in your head. You're like, what?
It's that connection. It's that next dot that you've been looking for.
Mm-hmm. But you could also say that about Family Guy too. So.
I love some Family Guy.
Me too.
I've been reading a lot of Stephen Cope. The book that I keep next to my laptop. I read every time I need something, a pick me up. It's called The Great Work of Your Life. It talks about, oh man, this is such a great book. You have to read this book.
Spell the last name?
Cope, C-O-P-E.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna ruin it for you, but I seriously, I love this book.
No, I will definitely check it out because I love all that kind of stuff. Thich Nhat Hanh, Eckhart Tolle, people that just write simple truth that just it just makes you stop for a minute and go. It just kind of like, it's like kind of like calming in your brain. Like, there's just so much going on all the time. You read somebody that just kind of zeroes into the simple truth of things. It's like a breath of fresh air in your brain, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you lose yourself. I love it.
It sounds like that. It sounds like that's how you're describing Cope.
Yeah. I mean, I'll lose myself in his writing. Like, you know how you get just like, it's just beautifully written. Like it's just, he can describe my office to a T, like in words that I'm just like, wow. Like if I sit here and I look, I'm like, all right, I have a fireplace, TV, desk, but he can like use these beautiful words and just describe it like in a way that I could never fathom. And you know what it reminds me of is like Hemingway. Like Hemingway could do that too. Like I'm a big fan of Hemingway, and his book, The Sun Also Rises, he describes a town in it that it was like in the middle of the book where he's going fishing and he's out in the country, and it's right before he goes to the running of the bulls, and he talks about this town. And this is like in 1920 or something like that. This is 100 years ago. And he's describing this town and the roofs and the paint colors of the walls and everything. And it's like you get an idea, and then you go Google that today, and it looks exactly like the picture that you had in your mind. Like,
no, it's amazing when somebody has it's like when they can wield words like that to create this I'm going to say scent from the book that I'm reading, what she talks about, the scent, the color, the feeling, you get these beautiful, in creative, amazing pictures in your head, almost like someone's showing you pictures from the way that they use their words. It's an unbelievable gift, and songwrite, the best songwriters do that. They make you feel that stuff in the songs. It's like some songs are like la 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 la, those are usually the hooks that everyone likes, is the la 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 la. Real simple, catchy hit, sing-songy, I guess is what I'm saying. But
yeah, well, it's everybody likes that popular shit. You know what I mean? No one really, it's the ones that's going to twist your mind that I really like. Like, and what I think you'll like about Stephen Cope is that this is for a creative. Like, this is for creative people that are doing things like yourself, musicians, artists, content creators, people that use their creativity as a tool.
And what's the name of that book?
It's the same one that we were just talking about, The Great Work of Your Life. It's a guide.
I didn't know if you had like a bunch of books.
Well, I got a bunch of books. I don't know if you ever heard of Chase Jarvis.
Not.
He just came. He's the CEO of the website Creative Live, and basically that's a YouTube for creatives. You can go in there and see how to do anything from making websites to. I was just watching Stephen Kotler on creativity, and it's like classes, like mini classes you can buy for like $99 and go in there, and it's like 6 hours long of how to do something, how to create a podcast.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. But Chase just came out with a book. I think it's Creativity or something like that. Anyway, just Google the name Chase Jarvis, and his book has been phenomenal. You know what it's like? It's like, and this is how I described it to him. I was like, dude, this book reminds me of my dad coming in the room, getting on one knee and giving me a hug and saying, son, like, you're doing a great job at creating this content. Like, you're doing a great job at being creative. Just keep it up. Keep doing what you're doing. That's what it felt like when I read that. Like,
That's nice.
It was just beautifully written. It's basically telling people it's okay to be creative. Like, it's okay. And you don't have to be like the next person. Like, stay in your lane and do you. And I think I think a lot of people lose that when they're trying to be like the next Gary Vee, or they're trying to be the next Lewis Howes, or they're trying to be the next, I don't know, Joe Rogan. They're trying to be the next version of someone else. In reality, the world just needs them.
Yeah. Yep. Well, how amazing that you have these ideas in your head as a father. That's brilliant. I mean, I don't know how old you are, but I mean, you don't sound older, and it's like you're already thinking of this stuff, and those kids that you have are going to hear a lot of, like, a different way to think, like a broader way to think, a bigger way to think, so that they're not so locked in, and they're going to feel okay about whoever they are in this world, as they start to come into their own real personalities. It's cool that you have that.
Sure.
Well, I
that
told my wife, I
access.
was like, if I die of this coronavirus, please just keep paying my installments for my subscription for this so that it stays out in the internet forever. Like I was just like, so they can hear it, you know, and I got 100 and some plus episodes of Your Superior Self. I want like keep paying my subscription for that. So that way it stays out there. Cause if not, it's going to disappear. And then all this works for nothing. But, I told like, it's, you know, my grandkids hopefully will hear this, and, you know, it's what I love. That's what I love about podcasting. It's like, you have these ideas, and what, you know, what's a struggle though? It's like, it's easy to say. It's hard to go back in there and be the father like you described. Like, it's like my son is the complete opposite of me. Like, he is so analytical. Like, I am very emotional. He's very analytical. And what I have to keep reminding myself is that, you know, he's going to have his little things that he does that he's, you know, all hyped up about. Like, he's just so much into video games and so much into like Legos and building and things like that. And he's into what he's into, where I'm more into, you know, my daughter is different. She's more like me. She's, you know, very athletic and outgoing, and it's easier for me to connect with that. And it's hard for me to connect with him because it's like he sees the world differently, and it's not bad. It's great. I love it. It's a challenge. It's challenging for me because I don't see it the same way that he does. But it's like,
maybe it won't be hard for you guys to connect. You're just going to connect very differently, you know?
Yeah.
It's going to be, he's probably going to teach you a bunch of stuff, you know?
Yeah. He teaches,
that's cool.
He teaches me that it's okay, right? Like, it's okay not to be like that. Like, not to be like the freaking jock or whatever. Like, it's okay. Like, you know, I was striving for that when I was in high school. I have that stuff, and I'm not bragging or anything like that, but it's not. And I look back in my high school career or whatever, and I wish that I had done things more differently. Like, I wish that I had taken the time to study more biology, or I wish I had taken the time to really look into philosophy and psychology, because I'm so intrigued by it right now. Like, that is what, like, I'm going back to school, and these are the areas that I'm very interested in. And he's teaching me.
You are going back to school?
Yeah, I'm going back to school right now. Like, I just got my
That's
associates in business, and now I'm going back to get my undergrad, and now I'm
slapping you high five on that.
Yes.
Good for you.
Thank you.
My next thing I'm probably going to do, I'm not sure, because I always want to go to school, but I'm really impressed and intrigued with the master classes.
Well, then you'll love Creative Live. You'll love Creative Live. That's what it is. It's like master classes.
That's what it sounded like.
It's every single one of them. Like, whatever you want to do, just look it up.
Creativelive.com.
Yep. Creativelive.com. It has everything that you need to do. And I know Chase is probably running some discounts right now too, but everything, like, creatively, you want to learn how to paint, it teaches you how to paint, it teaches you how to, you know, acting lessons, whatever. If you're creative, you need to be on this.
Brilliant. That's brilliant.
And he's the one that came up with the idea of like, the first idea of Instagram, like the photo sharing app, but before it was Instagram. And you can read his book to read more about that story. But his story is just amazing.
The guy that's Creative Live?
Yeah. So he created the first app. His name is Chase Jarvis.
Oh, that's right. I wrote it down. Okay.
He created this app that was like kind of like Instagram, where it's like a photo sharing app from your phone, but it wasn't called Instagram. It was something else. It's like Photo Pocket or something like that. But he missed out because he never scaled his app. He never upgraded his app. So when his app took off, like, it was the best app of the year, and he won a bunch of awards, but then he needed to scale it, and he didn't have the money for that. And then Instagram came in and took over, and basically took over the platform. And that's it. So he lost out on that, but then he came back with this Creative Live, and he's crushing it now with these classes.
That's great. That's cool.
Yeah.
No, because the internet and all that can be a beautiful thing. You know, when people's kids are lost in it and won't even go out and play and won't, you know, talk with their family because they're just stuck on games all day long. That's when it can be not cool. It can be something that's stuck in their brain, but it can be a beautiful thing like this too. We can see the other side of the world. We can look through these drones. We see other parts of the earth that we would never get a chance to go to, maybe, or, you know, it's amazing, the stuff that's available, but it just seems like it's got to be You know, I mean, you have kids. I don't, but it seems like that. It's, you know, if
What's
you're,
like, what is the Spider-Man saying? Like, with great power comes a great responsibility. Like, you just,
hmm
it's the
yep,
same thing. Like, you just have to be responsible with it. I mean, the world is flat right now. If you ever read what's his name? Thomas Friedman. He wrote a book called The World is Flat, which is, I don't suggest you go out and buy because it's basically out of date right now. But um, basically explaining how technology has flattened the earth, where I can go to India right now and hire someone to do whatever I need. And, while I'm sleeping, they're getting it done. Like a lot of the
yeah,
tax guys in the United States outsource. They you pay someone to do your taxes. Well, what they do is they pay somebody in India to do them for them
right.
that are qualified. And then they send them back to the accountant and they charge you. And some of that money is actually, being, going towards that bill towards India, who's actually doing your taxes. It's crazy.
Yep.
But
I think we need our cage rattled. I think that's
I think that's what's happening right now.
I do too.
I think it's a good thing. I think that this world needs to disconnect to reconnect with everything that's going on. I know it's been great for my family and for my kids. Like I'm slowing down and I'm getting to know them for who they are. I mean,
and
it's crazy.
That's priceless.
Yeah, because it's crazy. You don't think that that time's the time has gone by so quick and you get so busy, like and they're there and you just think that you're there with them all the time and that you know who they are. Like in this time right now, I've discovered that I didn't know who they were. I didn't. Wow. And it's giving me that time back to kind of get to know them.
No, it's amazing what we miss that's right under our noses because we're so on overload all the time with everything, just work and it's it's what we're choosing to put our energy on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't watch. I turn the TV on, but I sit here on the computer, and I'm just constantly doing stuff on the computer. It's just like it's like this. I remember when I used to just sit and watch TV. Not that that's a great thing to do, but the point being, just I'm always multitasking. I don't just sit and focus on one thing. So this reading the book has been awesome because I'm like, I turn the TV off early and go to read the book before I go to bed. I'm like, that's a better use of my time.
Well, it's also healthier for you too. Like all
way
that artificial
healthier.
blue light that you're getting when you read from your iPhone or your laptop in bed, like it screws up with your circadian rhythm, and so now you're not sleeping as well, and now your body's not producing enough melatonin. And my buddy Andy Mant, he's the CEO of Blue Blocks over in Australia, and he gave me some blue blocking glasses, and they've been a game changer for me. Like I wear them when the sun goes down and they block all the artificial blue and green light. I think it is. I think the green's in there too. And it's helped me fall. I mean, I'm in bed. I'm knocked out. Like it's crazy because I was used to scrolling on the phone, or
and
research.
You had trouble sleeping?
And I had trouble sleeping. I would wake up in the middle of the night all the time. Like, just, I wasn't getting that deep REM sleep.
Yeah.
And, this is how I wake up refreshed, and it's been a game changer for me.
That's great. Times it's hard to, I don't know. I'm just kind of in this place of like, what's going to happen next? So it's been very, the whole deal with my project, the business. And it's interesting, these radio interviews that I've been doing. I thought at first I thought, that everything's going to just stop. And then the radio interviews were fine. And then it dawned on me, of course, everyone's going to be spending more time, on their, like I said, phones, computers, TV, whatever, as a way to pass the time. And the interviews that I've had have been much more interesting, and the content, the conversations, because people are focused differently now because of what's going on. It's like we're not just here just dropping names and stuff anymore. We're talking about like real stuff.
This is real stuff. I mean, this is going to be one for the history books. April, this has been an amazing conversation. I love every second of it. How can people connect with you?
Thank you for asking. Well, on my Facebook page, April and the Velvet Room, there is a link that that has every single video. We're getting ready to drop another video. I did a remake of a French song that Sting did called La Belle Dans Son Regret, and we did a video, and that's being it's actually submitted for Grammy consideration right now. Fingers crossed, which is really awesome. There's the video for that. There's other videos. There's other just recordings, just anything you want to check out about this project and all the cool people that are in it. And then there's my webpage as well, www.aprilandthevelvetroom.com.
That's awesome. Well, I was going to leave with one of a deeper question than the one previously. What do you want your legacy to be?
What I'm about, what I realized is I want to endeavor to be a healed cell in the collective. I want to be somebody that's contributing and not taking. Before I go, I want to, help. I want to pay it forward. That's and any people that I work with, all the animals that I deal with. I've done a lot of work with a lot of nonprofits like PETA and Animals Legal Defense Fund and Physicians Responsible PCRM, Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. They get the colleges to stop, testing on animals. Anyway, point being, I want to help other people maybe see that there's an access or a way, maybe if I can get some other people to want to help, to get out of their own bubble, reach out and do something for anybody, animals, people, whatever. Just try to, care about something large, bigger than just yourself before you go.
I love it. April Doyle, thank you so much for joining the show. This has been a treat.
Definitely. It was a pleasure haven't had many interviews like that, and I really enjoyed talking with you, and thank you for giving my project and me some time.
Yeah, buddy, that was an amazing episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I want to say thank you to you for listening. Thank you for downloading. Thank you, April Doyle, for taking the time out of your schedule to just connect and just have a conversation about life. I mean, we got to start doing this more often. I mean, just talking about our philosophies and things that we believe in and just connecting and stop hating so much. Just be open-minded to people and experience them on a whole different level. Please leave a rating and a review wherever you get your podcast from. It helps me scale the podcast. It helps me get this out to those who may need it the most. So thank you guys so much. You can check me out, yoursuperiorself.com. Leave me a message so that way I can help you any way that I can. Check me out on Facebook. Check me out on Instagram, TDowns80, and on Twitter at DownsTrey, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. Remember that you are the product of every choice that you've ever made. And that's the truth. You're here now because you created this for yourself. And just remember that you can change it. You can change it. All you got to do is start changing yourself. All right, guys, I will talk to you later.